Landfall Games have made a name for themselves over the last few years. For wonky physics-based games like Cluster Truck, Stick Fight, the game, and totally accurate battle simulator, what began out of necessity to their lack of an animator, has since become their calling card in the industry, namely making games using physics animation over the more time-consuming method of keyframing. With that reputation, however, has come a difficult challenge. Every new project requires the studio to make a new physics-based control scheme which feels just as fun and responsive as the last, while also giving room for a certain degree of silliness and emergent humor. It's a tricky balancing act to get right, but one that they seem to have mastered internally, according to Peter Hendrickson, the co-owner and CEO of Landfall Games. The studio has achieved this through a bunch of different approaches. These include constantly reiterating and fine-tuning their games over time in Unity, creating a framework that allows for new ideas to be implemented quickly and efficiently, and communicating their intentions clearly to their audience. You can see the first of these approaches across nearly all of their projects, though Totally Accurate Battle Simulator is probably the best example of this. It's a physics-based tactics game, where players place a bunch of humanoid units on a map and do battle against an army with increasingly ridiculous weapons. Originally conceived at a game jam, it has since grown significantly with new unit types and a constantly evolving physics system. In the game, you do not directly control the units. Instead, you simply place them, and how they act is based on a number of different systems. To accomplish this, the team has to control the ragdoll legs based on animation curves to create a basic walk cycle, before enabling a number of additional scripts to help with animation. These include a step handler to determine when a step has been completed and when a new one can start, and a standing handler that is in charge of keeping the character upright. The latter of these judges the distance between the character's head and the floor, and then exerts an upwards force on the character's torso and head, if they are able to stand. This is based on an animation curve, where x is the distance to the ground, y is the output force. Then there is the balance script. The balance script transfers to the legs and feet to try to keep them in position to help support the body. Says Wilhelm Nyland, game designer and CEO at Landfall Games. For example, if both feet are in front of the body center of mass, one of them needs to move backwards, so that the character can stay balanced. This physics animation system is the third iteration of the animation system and makes workflow much quicker and easier to handle. The biggest changes in the physics animation system is that I have made the new one a lot more component-based, explains Nyland. In the old system, there was a script called Physics Animation CS, which handled keeping the character upright, checking if there is ground underneath, rotating legs for the walk cycle, etc. In the new system, each of these are their own scripts that you can pick and choose from. The new approach is similar to how they handled the animation on another one of their games, Stick Fight, the game. Iterating on their tools has allowed them to simply tweak the movement of different unit types. For example, the snakes in the game are using the exact same movement, gravity and rotation handler as the humanoids, but do not have a standing handler, as they have no legs. This would have been a more involved process without the scripting system in place. The ability to prototype and incorporate new ideas quickly helps them to create a fun and chaotic experience. Another way they accomplish this is through the use of a singular humanoid across multiple unit types. They are all running on the same code, Henriksen explains. indicating towards the human units in the initial trailer. They are just told to hold an object. Then something triggers when they go into an attack state, and that differs depending on if they are shield man or an archer or something. Right? This efficient method of development has led to some bizarre new units making their way into the game, including mock versions of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and a man that farts chickens. Everything will do, continues Henriksen. We actually thought of one of the units made meeting in China somewhere. Like what if we make like a business dude that have like a portfolio, and he like grabs you with the hand, and then starts punching you with the portfolio. It's things like that. But the will is most likely the one who comes home and puts everything together. With the physics system already in place for a totally accurate battle simulator, you'd be forgiven for thinking that totally accurate battlegrounds. Landfall Games, PlayerUnknown's battleground disparity, was an easy task then. Simply take the animations and code in place, and build the new game around that. However, you'd be wrong. Creating a physics-based first-person shooter was a surprisingly difficult task that required a complete rethinking of the physics present in totally accurate battle simulator. This was due to the demands of the genre in terms of its first-person perspective and the studio's strictly physics-based approach. If they were to use the code running the units in totally accurate battle simulator, it would be unplayable. The player would be unable to view what was ahead of them clearly, with the world bouncing around and spinning wildly ahead of them. In other games, you would probably have first-person animations, and then you would have third-person animations when you look at someone, explains Henriksen. But in total accurate battlegrounds, it is the same. Your first-person animation is also what everyone else sees. This meant something had to change. Nyland had to build a whole new physics animation system that would work across both a third and first-person perspective, while still utilizing the script system he had developed across other games. Of course, the result is not as clean as your typical first-person shooters, but that is kind of the point. With the head bobbing and goofy movement, landing the game that familiar charm that many have come to expect from the studio. The wonky part is kind of cool, because if everyone does not take the game so seriously, we can have a lot more fun with it, and do more things like we'll have a gazillion weapons in totally accurate battlegrounds, and the reason we can have that is that every single one of them does not need to be balanced and thought out, argues Henriksen. We can just add a bunch of cool ideas into weapons, and just have them in the game. To close the interview, I asked Henriksen what the future holds for Landfall Games. What are they working on now? And are they finally going to hire an animator or continue making physics-based games? For now, we are definitely just going to figure out how deep we can go with physics animations, answers Henriksen. At the moment, we are doing totally accurate battle simulator and totally accurate battlegrounds. The plan is to keep doing totally accurate battlegrounds until the servers are pretty stable and people can play, and there are no big issues, and to continue and finish totally accurate battle simulator. He concludes, we are getting there. Monday, March 18th marks the start of Game Developers Conference 2019. Gamasutra will have reporters at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, bringing you breaking news along with coverage from developer sessions and interviews throughout the course of the week. DD 2019 takes place March 18th-22 at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. For more details on NGDC 2019, visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, or Bring your team to GD. Register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. Gamasutra and GD are sibling organizations under parent company and former 24-year-old security researcher James Clark avoided jail time by pleading guilty to hacking into Microsoft and Nintendo servers and stealing confidential information. This case serves as an important reminder for developers and publishers that no company is truly immune to being hacked and should take proper precautions to protect their data. As reported by The Verge, Clark was charged on multiple counts of computer misuse offenses in a London Crown Court on Thursday. He was a former employee at the anti-malware company Malwarebytes, and was also involved in the tech data breach from 2015.